How were the first football rules created, and how did these rules create two different sports at the same time? Let's explore that in today's video, so I ask you to leave a like and, if you enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel. During the 18th century, football was already being played, mainly in English schools. As we saw in the previous video, these schools developed different versions of what they called football. Some focused on a game with dribbling, where the ball was passed using foot touches, while others played by passing the ball with their hands and using tackles to take down their opponents. When these schools met, the result was chaos on the field. Clearly, football needed to be standardized. There were several attempts to create a unified version of football. In 1848, at the University of Cambridge, a group of students gathered to establish some rules, but in the end, each school remained attached to its own practices. It was only in 1863 that they realized there was an irreconcilable difference between those who preferred a game of catching the ball and running with it, and those who favored a game of dribbling and kicking. There was also a disagreement between those who wanted to stop their opponents with tackles and blows, and those who were against this practice. One of the arguments used by Ebenezer Morley, secretary of the group that referred to itself as the Football Association in London, was that if tackles and blows continued to be allowed, no one other than students would be able to play football for long. From this group, it was decided that holding, pushing, tripping, and running with the ball would be prohibited, with the punishment being to stop the ball and call a foul. This gave birth to the direct free kick toward the goal. These rules began to apply to schools, but for the general public, football remained a mess. It was in Sheffield that the most popular rules were created in 1858. These were similar, but also had their own issues, such as the size of the goals, which were only 4 meters wide, leading to a proliferation of 0-0 scores. The field for the final of the first English Cup was more than double the length of modern fields, and there were no white markings, only flags to delimit the boundaries. In the following years, as the rules improved the game, the first leagues emerged, although most schools were against these practices. The first unified football league took place in 1871, when 50 associated clubs were invited, but only 15 showed up to play. In front of 2,000 people, the Wanderers defeated the Royal Engineers 1-0 and won the first English Cup. In the next videos, we'll continue the journey of football as it becomes the most valued sport in the world. See you there.